Greetings and welcome to The Contracting Guy. I am The Contracting Guy. And today I want to talk to you about something that just really kind of just causes me excitement, just rings my bell. And it has to do with post-award contract administration. Now, none of this, this pre-award stuff, yada, yada, pre-award, yada, yada. Post-award stuff is really where things happen. Unfortunately, it's like everybody wants to buy the toilet paper, but nobody wants to make sure the toilet paper's in the place where it needs to be at the time it needs to be there to be able to accomplish its mission. Now, that's kind of an awkward piece there, but the reality is quite simple. Post-award contract administration, contract oversight is at best it's maintenance. At worst, it's catastrophic. If you fail to do contract administration, most definitely quality assurance type of administration, you're going to fail. Some of the greatest problems I've seen occurs because of the failure of two parties not coming to a meeting of the minds. And no place is this more evident than in a contract administration experience where you have a services contract. So you have the government receiving services and a services provider not meeting the minds of each other. They don't know. So there's no sense of common expectation or outcome. The government believes this, the vendor believes this, and none of it works. And sadly, it's never good for the business who is providing the service, because the money people, whether it's government or industry, whoever's buying that service, is expecting certain levels of service. The best you can do is make sure that your service meets the contract, and hopefully through a good relationship, repair anything that needs to be repaired. Oftentimes, much like a bad husband and wife relationship, is that you'll let things slide and let things slide and let things slide until you start hating. And the hate is hot. People are ticked because the reason is because there's no meeting of the minds. I always expected you to do this, and you had no expectations to do it at all. So what happens is that I'm expecting these things and I'm getting ticked off. And I said, why doesn't he do it? Why do they do it? Why don't they do it? And the other one is just oblivious to, like, I don't know, hey, look, it's sunny outside. And the reality is that eventually there's so great a dissatisfaction that you can't even repair the relationship. This could have been solved earlier, but it didn't. And the reason is that people don't talk to each other. Contract administrators on the buyer side have to talk to contract administrators on the seller side. They have to come up with an understanding of what is expected. Oftentimes, in addition to this, what happens is that you'll have, let's say, the buyer side. I'll use the buyer term versus government because it doesn't make a difference on who the buyer is. If the buyer just kind of casually skirts the line, let's say they had a policy on don't bring food into the location where you're working, and they do, and it spills on the floor. Well, who's expected to clean that up? Well, chances are it's the maintenance contractor, the janitorial contract people that will have to clean it up, in spite of the fact that you have a rule stating that there will be no stuff. There was nothing to eat, nothing to drink, perhaps water you can have. Everything else you eat in the break room, but you don't bring it onto the floor into the workspaces. So what do you do with that? The first thing is you have to enforce that. You have to have expectations that your employees are going to live up to the obligations you have. And you should be able to recognize that if you are being called out by the seller, the provider of services, for not following your own rules, shame on you. Shame on you. It is critical then for a buyer of services to understand what you're buying and how comprehensive that buying is. What is involved? How does that go about? Now, granted, this is my window of, I just stinking love it, because it is what I do. What I do the best, actually. All the other stuff is what I do. This is what I do the best. If you're a seller, you're selling this stuff, and this is what I do the best, is that here it is, you sell something and you want to be able to be sure that your I's are dotted and T's are crossed so that you can effectively and all the time execute the contract. And then maintain good communications with the buyer. So communications is key, but specificity in contract performance is critical. A quality assurance surveillance plan, now we'll go back to the government, they call a quality assurance surveillance plan a mean of being able to surveil the contract. This is good for both the buyer and the seller because it allows for a comprehensive look at what's happening and focusing on key indicators. If you don't do that, you are setting yourself up for failure. Either way, I win because I'm telling you what needs to be done. And if you don't do it, you'll come back and ask me, saying, well, hey, contracting guy, I screwed up. Help me with this. And then I'll help you. It'll cost you because I don't do stuff like that for free, because that's what I really love. Yeah. This is the contracting guy. I'm out.
Thank you for watching The Contracting Guy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. We'd appreciate that. This is The Contracting Guy. I'm out.